Mathis, with 2 of his victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Stockbridge, Georgia, Winston, the Reaper Mathis. His opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing white trimmed in silver, his official weight, 140 pounds. He enters the ring, an undefeated fighter with 8 victories. All 8 victories coming by way of knockout. Representing Phoenix, Arizona, Jose Benavigez Jr. All right, we're going to take a look at the tail of the tape. Mathis is 4 inches shorter. He's a pound and 3/4 heavier. He's 11 years older. He's giving away 2 inches in reach. He's coming off a loss in July by split decision to Amar Sanders in Atlanta. Before that, he lost a unanimous decision to Gabriel Bracero in New York. Benavigez is a tremendous fighter and one of the great hopes for top-ranked boxing. This guy is a one-punch knockout artist, so watch this and watch it fast. Benavigez decked out in the white trunks.
You're absolutely right. This guy is really special, and it's a name you're going to want to tuck away in the back of your mind right now. Jose Benavigez Jr., he has been more than just a little impressive in his brief 8-fight professional career. Longtime amateur champion. He was allowed to turn pro at age 17 because he was just too good. It was just that simple. 120-5 as an amateur.
And his skill set, Barry, as you mentioned, is way beyond his years. The kid's only 18 years of age in the white trunks. And again, I mentioned he's a young, top-ranked boxing star that you're going to hear a lot more about from Bob Arum and company. I guarantee you that.
He is a very special young fighter. I've seen him take guys out with body shots. He's very strong. He doesn't waste punches. Skilled way beyond his years.
And for an 18-year-old, a real nice kid, a real polished individual. With all that, Winston Mathis coming in here from Georgia. He turned pro in November of 2007 with a TKO win over Sean Wilson in Atlanta. Then he ran off 6 wins in a row. But he's got the tall order against this, what everyone believes is like almost like they're talking about him like Salvador Sanchez type ability.
Well, and I think it's a fair comparison, to be honest. Freddie Roach said, of all the fighters in his gym, and as you know, he's got probably the best fighters in the world, he said, this kid right here is the best prospect I have in my gym.
Mathis actually rode out in the taxi with me from the airport, and I got to talk to him, and he said, I'm just going to put my ears back and try to fight this guy as best I can. Every round is a one-round fight, but he's not doing that. He's doing as best he can. He's on the assault right now, but he's fighting a world-class fighter, and he knows who's brought in his opponent, so he's letting it fly. He's not letting it fly enough, though. I mean, he should be fighting every minute of every round like it's the last minute of his life, because I don't want to say that. I was almost going to say because that could be, but I mean in his life tonight is boxing.
You saw that body shot right there, and it buckled the knees of Mathis.
And this guy reminds me a lot of when I first saw like Benito Lopez, the great long-time champion from Mexico. That little subtle thing that Barry just pointed out, that body shot was a ripping body shot. And just watching it when we see the replay of it, you're not going to think much of it, but believe me, those are the type that crack ribs. There's another one. Yep. See the way he winces? He was hurt by that shot.
He was, and you saw the right hand come down almost immediately. And the other thing about Benavigez, this could be said about all the great champions, there goes Mathis, and it was a result of the body shots.
And those are in the area of the liver. He does get up, but look at the way he's wincing to the right side of his body. The liver is the biggest organ other than skin in your body, and it's tucked underneath that right rib cage, and it hangs down a couple of inches. Oh, right on it again!
Just brilliant.
He may not be able to recover from that one. He's shaking his head.
Just brilliant, and exactly as advertised. He gets up at 8, and that'll be the end of the first round. About Benavigez too is he's also got that innate ability that only the greats have. He's a terrific finisher. When his man's hurt, the fight's over.
Well, as his opening round here, we were surprised it went beyond a couple of minutes, 10-7. For Mathis, he didn't do what he said he was going to do and attack because that's the only hope he has. And there's some experience there in that corner with Miguel Diaz. I was kidding last week. He was working the corner for Juan Lopez. He said, well, there's 150 years of experience over there, and 80 of them with Diaz. And Miguel said, hey, I'm not 80 years old.
I love Miguel Diaz.
Look at these knockdowns now. Body shot that time, and bang, right there. That's the liver shot, and that's the one that paralyzed. He doesn't stop throwing punches. Now watch this. Watching that area again, right there. These are crippling punches. Those punches end fights. That's a Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya type knockout punch.
Exactly, and that's what I've seen him do it a couple times already in his young career. This guy is really special.
I mean, he doesn't even throw a right hand here now. I'd like to see him throw a couple right hands to see, but I'll tell you, poor Winston Mathis can't take many more body shots like that. Look at the hand speed on the inside. Then he covers up well, and I give Winston a lot of credit because he's in against a guy that's just so outclassed, and it's not a put down to Mathis because this guy outclasses everybody that you're going to see him in with for a while. He's 8-0. He's going to be 9-0 before this night's over, and it'll probably be a body shot. Look at the jab, though. He drives off the back foot. He snaps the jab off. That's technically perfect.
No, he's really special. I mean, there's no question about it, and that's why I urge you to really watch this guy because you're going to be able to tell all your friends you saw him win. And the other thing about him, he doesn't get hit very much. Now, I realize, he's not in there against the top echelon guy, but he sure looks to me, Colonel, like he's ready to take that next step.
Well, he's in there. He's had 8 professional fights, and his opponent, Mathis, has 8 fights, and he's won 6 of them. So these are the type of guys he has to fight at this stage in his career. And look at the body of Mathis. He's well-conditioned.
Yeah, and to his credit, he's trying.
You feel a body shot like that, folks, and you fighters know what I'm talking about. There's nothing more punishing, except maybe if you get hit between the legs, than if you get hit on the liver. It just paralyzes you, freezes you, and it's usually a delayed happening. And that's what you want to look for, the left hook to the right side of the body again, because he can't take another hard shot there.
There was a hard right hand right below the solar plexus. And Mathis continues to try, and you got to give it up for him.
Benavigez, no sense of urgency here. He just wants to box this guy. Another ref says, hey, keep him up, keep him up.
The other thing about Benavigez, when you see him outside the ring, he looks like a librarian. He's got dark horn-rimmed glasses that he wears. Very, very nice guy. His father works with him in the corner. Kid with his feet really firmly on the ground. All out in front of this kid. And I can't emphasize enough how special I feel he could be.
This guy is potentially what Steven Strasburg is in baseball. Although Strasburg get injured, and we hope that never happens to Benavigez. But I mean, this is the type of ability you're talking about. Just an extraordinary ability for young, in this case, boxer.
Looks like he's cut a little bit over the right eye, too. So that'll be a first experience for him.
Here's your chance to be involved with tonight's amazing fights. From your iPhone or Android cell phone, text Top Rank to the numbers shown here on the screen. By sliding your finger on your phone, you can pick who will win. And the real-time results of the whole audience will be shown instantly on the TV screen. In the USA and UK, text Top Rank to the numbers shown on the screen. In Mexico, text Go Top Rank to 70000. In the rest of the world, go to toprankvip.com. And remember, you must use your iPhone or Android cell phone to join in the game.
Now watch these borderline shots. Boom, a little bit less than borderline. Those are low blows. I'll let the ref come in. Let's see what he says. Yeah, keep him up, guy. Keep him up. But that's academic. Because the real body shots are being landed by the other guy, Jose Benavigez, who Barry is constantly pointing out is just what a future this kid has for 18 years of age. When in the state of Nevada, they let him turn pro at 17 because there was nobody that he could compete with him at the particular age. I mean, they changed the law to let this kid fight as a professional, and he's not disappointing anybody at age 18, is he?
No, he's not, but he does have something that he hasn't had to deal with before. It's a reasonably significant cut over the right eye, and it was caused by a punch, not by a headbutt.
but he's got one of the best cut men in the world working with him, and Miguel Diaz, longtime friend and fellow Las Vegas. He really knows what he's doing, and I don't see any blood trickling down now. And now there's a little more sense of urgency too, Barry. You don't want to mess around the fact that he's cut.
Exactly. I thought he kind of took the second round off a little bit, but just to get the work. But I don't think that'll be there any longer.
His corner told him, "Hey, turn it up and get this guy out of here now." The danger is if you get splattered on that cut or you get headbutt again, you could be out of action for 6 to 7 weeks.
Right.
To Mathis' credit, he's come to fight. He hasn't buckled up, and he was hurt really, really bad, I thought, to the body. I thought he'd have a difficult time being able to hang in there through the second round after those vicious body shots he took back in round 1. Now, Benavigez seems to be in cruise control again, Barry.
Yeah, he does. I would think there'd be a little bit more sense of urgency. Blood obviously is getting into his eye. It bothers him because he's kind of winking it. I don't think he's winking at you or me.
That's for sure. And you know what? The other thing is, this guy is so cerebral. He may be just setting him up for that one more left hook to the body and end this thing. And he's that cerebral. Instead, he lets fly with the right hand and comes right back with the left hand. Didn't quite land it. He was upstairs for that. He wants to get those hands up, and then he'll blast them underneath that right elbow. I think he's that cerebral in the ring.
Well, that's the thing. He's really kind of wise beyond his years. High boxing IQ. That's not a knockdown. Good for Benavigez, though. I mean, you don't like to see a guy get cut, but it's one of those things that you got to experience at some point. Better to do it now. Good luck.
That's it. Oh, man, he didn't go down.
But I'm not sure how he didn't go down. They're going to give him a standing 8 count.
You know, there's no standing 8 count. He must have thought he went down, and now he's really annoyed with the referee because he never at any stage went down. And he better watch himself. He can get suspended.
Yeah.
He's really annoyed. But he was staggered. He was out on his feet. And I don't think the ref quite knew what to do because he was out on his feet and didn't want to give him another shot. What he should have done is just wave it off and end right there to stop the fight. But he gave the guy. The problem is the fighter, in 2 seconds ago, he was in a heap of trouble. Then 2 seconds later, when he stops the fighter's okay again.
Yeah. I mean, he was out on his feet, only he didn't drop. And he had a bounce back.
Watch this now, folks, to show you exactly what I mean. See, he's staggered, and bam, he's in a heap of trouble. But the hand never did touch the canvas as the ref was pushing Benavigez away. Watch it again. Boom, and bang. He's out on his feet. Yeah, his hand did, I think.
Yeah, I think it did.
So he had all the reason to stop the fight. But it's not a standing 8 count. His hand actually hit the canvas. Then he looks into his eyes. By this time, the fighter recovers, and he's really annoyed.
He tried. I mean, he came here to give it his best shot. I got to say that. That was a huge left hand, and then, of course, very sharp right hand behind it. They're still going to work on that eye, and it could shelve Benavigez a little bit.
Watch the fighter losing it. But again, fighters don't realize when the referee stopped the fight, he was in a heap of trouble. 2 or 3 seconds later, he's okay. But that isn't when the fight was called. He was in a heap of trouble.
All right, well, let's make it official. We'll take it to the center of the ring once more, Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Neil Young steps in and calls a halt to this contest with an official time of 2 minutes, 23 seconds of round number 3. Your winner, by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, Jose Benavigez Jr.
So his record now 9-0, all 9 by way of knockout. I think this was a little bit tougher than he might have anticipated.
Barry turned it up a notch in the third, then he looked like he was on cruise control, and I thought he was setting up the left hand to the body again because he was so successful in the first round. Quite the contrary, nailed him with a solid right hand to end that.